Hello, 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 everybody. It is Laura here, and today I'm going to be talking about the one thing, really, it's a skill that I wish every single embodied, holistic, heart centered entrepreneur had. And this is really the key to actually working smarter, not harder. Now, as this gets set up, if you happen to be joining me live, please say hello in the comments. If you're watching the replay, say hello, let me know where you're coming from. And I'll give this a moment to get started. I am actually here, and part of today's training was inspired because I am here on vacation, and I'm hoping that my focus doesn't get crazy with the blinds behind me. But this is part of today's training was really inspired by a realization that I had yesterday while I'm on vacation. So I wanted to pop on here live and share that. The other thing that I want to say before we jump in is there is, well, let me get my words straight. Enrollment for the next round of the BodyMind Coaching Program is open. This is a coach training designed specifically and for holistic, minded, service-based entrepreneurs, folks who are ready to grow their impact and income and scale beyond their in-person sessions. And for anybody who applies, you'll get access. Once you apply, you will get access to a bonus training on the Body Mind Method. And I'm going to actually walk you through that 4-part framework on how and what it looks like really to grow beyond what you're doing right now. So I always like to say, there's no obligation. There's only what you want to step up and show up to. So it's really about sending a message to the universe that you are ready and committed to your next step. And you can learn more at thenewbodymind.com. Check that out and apply and get access to that training. So, all right, I see some of you joining me. Hello, hello. Let me know in the comments where you're joining me from. And sometimes I don't see all the comments, so I'll do my best to say hey. So, what I want to talk about today and really why this is important is I see all the time online these messages of work smarter, not harder, work less, earn more. And I know, as coming from the massage industry myself as a former massage therapist, I saw those messages for the longest time. And really the only way I knew how to do that was to charge more and work less. And what was inspired for me, as I shared, I'm on vacation this week, is yesterday I just had this moment where I remember when I was book solid for months at a time in my massage practice, when I had reached this quote unquote level of success that I was told is the goal that we are all supposed to aspire to, vacations were challenging. Because on one hand, I physically needed a break, right? I was exhausted. I was, as a full-time massage therapist, I was seeing clients all day. I was doing laundry. And then of course you get the person who needs, like, they slept on their neck funny. They need to get in, they need to see you. So you feel guilty. So you squeeze them in, or you see them on a day off, right? Like that whole thing. And I remember, I would need a vacation. I would plan the vacation. But then, when you take a week off, all of a sudden, the income for the week goes away. So either you have a dip in your income and you deal with it, or like combined with that, you feel guilty for having to move those clients. So you either squeeze them in the week before, the week after, and then you're like even more booked before and after, and like, right? So I had this visceral memory of that scenario yesterday. And as I'm sitting here with my family and my beautiful son and feeling like just being able to be here and know that my work and my physical doing is not directly tied to my income and the results that I can help people with, I really had this moment of just how incredibly life-changing that is. And before I share the skill that I wish every single one of you had, I need to talk about a deeper issue that's really going on. Because, I grew up, I'm a Midwest girl. I was taught to work hard and that, you have to work hard to earn money and to earn and to all of these messages that work is supposed to be hard, making money is supposed to be hard. All of that is deeply ingrained in my neurophysiology. And what happens a lot for folks who come into a service-based business, and we've had so many folks around us now. Obviously, we have a lot of massage therapists and holistic providers because that's my background, but we have dog trainers, we have health coaches, we have hypnotherapists, acupuncturists, and really anybody is heart-centered who wants to help people, okay? And typically, you are taught to trade time for money. And I remember, I was getting online when online courses were new, and I was like, how does this online thing work? What does that look like? That is actually what we specialize in BodyMind Coaching, to help you move beyond what you're doing hands-on. And again, that's what that 4-part framework is, and I'm going to walk you all the way through it. So make sure you apply to join us. But really, the thing that we have to start talking about, if we want to talk about burnout, if we want to talk about working smarter, not harder, is this underlying belief that our physical doing is deeply tied to our income, deeply tied to our value, our personal value, deeply tied to our worthiness. So it's not just, hey, work less, charge more, all that good stuff. A lot of times there's a deeper thing happening that when you start to work less, or if you take that vacation, you run this neural pathway that says you're being lazy, that because you're not doing something, you're not valuable, right? That you're not worthy. So yes, it's fun. On the outside, you absolutely need a framework to start thinking about how to work less and earn more. But more than that, it's really about addressing this inner belief and these inner, literal physiological beliefs and patterns that are in our brains, but they're also stored in our tissues. I had a moment yesterday on the beach that I was like, oh, I need to do something or else. And I checked myself right then and there. It's like, no, my value is not in me physically doing. My value is in my being and how I get to show up. And we know this, I think we get this, but living this, implementing this, breathing this, man, that takes work. There's so much that needs to be undone and recalibrated, right, within yourself if you really want to grow your income and your impact. And underneath all of this, so I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll say it really quickly. I hope this resonates. Is, for me, I grew up with a family who deeply values responsibility. It has been, I need to be responsible. I need to be responsible for myself. I need to be responsible for everybody else around me. And when I stepped into a service-based industry, a lot of times there's this unspoken thing that the heart-centered caregivers, people who want to help, we unintentionally are taught to take on responsibility of our clients, of their results. No matter how many times we tell them we don't fix them, no matter how often, you give them the advice and you want them to do the things between sessions, they never do it. There is this deep, like we can't even touch it. But I think a reason that so many folks are burning out, because it's not a matter of, well, it's influenced by how much you're physically working. But I think a bigger factor when it comes to burnout, when it comes to overgiving, when it comes to really how so many of us are taught to structure our work and our businesses, is there's this underlying assumption that we are responsible as the practitioner, as the business owner, we are responsible for carrying all these things around us. And when we have this neural pathway that says, I have to do in order to earn, in order to be worthy, in order to be helpful, in order to XYZ, that's really the core of what burns folks out. My work, my goal is to shift from being responsible to being response-able. And for those of you who are embodied entrepreneurs, who have that holistic minded approach, this responsibility loop is deeply weaved into how we are taught to deliver our services and also how we are taught to run our businesses. And we talk a lot about this invisible ceiling that so many of you hit, right? This is time for money. But there's also this emotional, this physical ceiling that so many people hit that is rooted in this belief. So, does this resonate with you? Let me know if this is hitting home. So, what we need to think about, and the one skill that I believe will shift how you show up and how you help your clients, because I know your goal is to help people, to help them do amazing things in their lives, to physically feel better, to make healthier choices. Like, you genuinely want to help people. You also want freedom and flexibility for yourself. It's the whole reason you got into business in the first place, right? And so what we want to start looking at is, what is the thing that is going to support your clients in showing up for themselves and taking empowered action and actually, like, maybe following through on all the amazing advice that you're already giving them, right? While giving you that freedom, that flexibility that you truly crave and desire. And for me, that number one thing is coaching. And I should preface this by saying, so much of what we see now online is not coaching anymore. And it breaks my heart. It's advice giving. It's a lot of what I see online as far as coaching is kind of saviorism. It's, we want to tell somebody the right thing to do and the right way to do it so that they have to bypass all the uncomfortableness of actually trusting and tuning into themselves and sourcing their own wisdom and listening to their own body and following through on their own intuition. True coaching, oh my God, it's about holding space. It's about presence. It's about somebody having this opportunity to deeply feel and be present to themselves. And so if you want to improve client results, and I say this from a space, I want to step back one second. We've had a lot of people who come into BodyMind Coaching who have done other coaching programs that were just like, follow the script, ask these questions, have the client do 1, 2, 3, follow this exercise plan, follow this diet plan. And that is what they were told is coaching. And they come into BodyMind and they're like, oh my God, that was not even it, right? The coaching process that we teach in BodyMind is rooted in embodiment. And it is about helping somebody, like, really know, trust, follow, step into themselves and show up. So where I was going, if you want to help your clients get even better results from what you do, when you understand the coaching framework, when you actually have those skills as a coach, to support them in sourcing their own brilliance and their own answers and their own intuition, They show up differently. And it is absolutely not telling them what to do, giving them advice, you know, writing out what their diet plan is or whatever. It is so much more than that. It is so much more powerful than that. It will change the nature of your work. Like, I can't even speak highly enough of it. Like, it's changed my life. But there's another side of this for you, is that as a coach, when you truly embody that role as a coach and you understand, again, we teach an embodied coaching process about how helping somebody really connect within themselves in that coaching process. It moves you from being responsible to their outcomes to being responsible in holding space and being present. It changes how you show up. Not to mention, as in a business point of view, first of all, coaches tend to make more per hour than most service providers. When you open the door to coaching, you also open the door to, you can do one-on-one, groups, retreats, online courses. Like, it opens the door for so much more. But you have to get, before you go down that road, you have to get that the core of coaching for you as the provider is about releasing the responsibility of outcomes and holding that on your shoulders, the thing that is most likely burning you out, and shifting into a role of being responsible, meaning fill your cup first, meaning be so grounded and embodied in yourself that you can show up and hold the space, releasing the outcome, releasing the way you think it should look. Coming in from a perspective that the person in front of you, your client, is so wise and resourceful that you're going to hold space and reflect their brilliance to them so they can find and uncover it for themselves. I truly believe that for anybody in a service-based industry who is heart-centered, holistic-minded, who wants to help people, coaching will change how you work. I'll give you an example. I know we have some copywriters and we have some folks who have gone through BodyMind who do graphic design and also that do business strategy, right? We have a social worker, we have a dog trainer in the program. And a lot of times when you're in a service-based industry, people come to you and they say, I want you to write my 10 email series. I need to rebrand and create my logo and do all this stuff, right? And when you don't have the coaching thing, one, you take on the responsibility of having to get it right and perfect, blah, blah, blah. And then you create, but you might not actually really know if the problem that the client hired you for is really the solution they need. You might not, they might give you this image of what they think they're supposed to be in their branding, in their email copy. And really, there's a deeper message or image or picture that's asking to come out. And a lot of times as service providers, we take that as a massage therapist, freaking A. Oh my God, coaching changed my world as a massage therapist because I would have people come in and be like, my left shoulder hurts, right? And, a lot of times I would just take that before I knew coaching. I would just take that as that's the problem. Let me go solve it, right? And then they get off the table and they're like, oh, my shoulder feels good, but you never addressed the thing over here, right? Understanding how to communicate, how to really get into heart of what's going on. When you have that skill, it changes everything in your business. All right. Again, this is what I'm going to be talking more in. I'm going to be going over what our framework is, the BodyMind method. It's a 4-part framework. It is rooted in embodiment, and i.e., you showing up to yourself, you following your intuition, you sourcing your embodiment in your business and growing and expanding from there. right? As entrepreneurs, embodiment is the key to your success, period. So I'm going to be sharing our 4-part framework and looking at practically what does this mean in your business, in your life, as far as you show up. So that is the training. Again, this is for folks who apply to join our next wave of the BodyMind Coaching Program. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I look forward to having you there. And I will see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.